Tell me your story.
I was this close to dying from a brain abscess that was misdiagnosed.
Good to know people care, though.
For a lot of people, the MRIs are clear.
You said you had a lot to tell.
Oh, yeah.
Someone said,
I thought it was normal to have like seizures by yourself all the time.
You definitely will feel guilt a lot.
I so appreciate you putting this together.
thank you. It says seizure after eating an edible THC gummy. So last week I had a prescribed gummy, only a quarter, but I forgot to take my Keppra last night after taking the edible. Later, I was sitting in the couch with my partner and had a usual morning, coffee and tablets. After 5 minutes later, I thought about it. Was just a cramp in my hand, but it turns out I had a seizure. I woke up to my partner on the phone with the ambulance. I'm just wondering if anyone else has had any similar experiences happen to them after eating edibles and not taking Keppra. I've had days where I've missed a dose before and only ever had 2 seizures before this, but I'm thinking the THC gummies made it worse. Personally, I wouldn't say that the gummies made it worse. That's just me. I haven't really blamed anything on weed in particular. It might have did something better that I think sometimes.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too. The gummies usually help me out. make me feel a little bit better. You know, if I'm super sore or something after I've had a seizure, I'll take one, and just other times just to chill or whatever, I'll take them. I've never had any issues with it, and I am on Keppra, 2,000 milligrams in the evening, so a higher dosage of it too. And marijuana doesn't affect me. So
You take medication only once a day?
The Keppra is just in the evening. The Vimpat is evening and morning.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I take that twice a day, and the Keppra just at night.
Yeah, I've taken edibles with my lamotrigine. It's helped me. Lamotrigine has helped me. Yeah, it always like takes away a headache if I just take it like I got a headache and I was gonna take an edible anyway. It does help with headaches. Never had a seizure though after a gummy. That hasn't happened to me. Um,
Yeah, and obviously I'll throw my 2 cents out there because I always do. But yeah, I'm on 3,000 milligrams of Keppra every day, and I'm on 600 milligrams of Lamictal every day, and I was also on 400 milligrams of Vinpat too. And if you know, regular gummies are like 10 milligrams each, and because I make my own, I usually take about 300 milligrams. I've never had a problem ever with it's crazy. I've never had a problem with anything related, and I vape, I dry vape, I smoke all kinds of everything. So I have to admit, my personal opinion is a anything could trigger epilepsy, a seizure. I mean, that's what my doctor's like. Coffee, no coffee, drinking, no drinking. But all I've ever heard is, yeah, the only time you can guarantee you'd have a seizure is by missing your medicine. So I doubt it would be uh, the edible. I'd assume it would be missing a dose. Sorry, should I keep going? You're eating.
no, you can keep going.
I'm busting your chops, man. You were eating, so I figured I'd just keep talking.
Up until like 6 months ago, Chip, I was on 3,000 of Keppra as well, and it was just screwing with me. I'm still trying to get my doctor to get me off of it, just period. Um, luckily she was, she stepped it down to 2,000 from the 3,000, but it's been a little bit better, but I'm still not enjoying
Y- You have
being
to
on it.
advocate for it yourself. My previous neurologist was the one that had me on Keppra, and it took I like he maxed me out at 4,000 milligrams, along with 500 milligrams of Keppra. I mean, Lamictal. So it was 4,000 Keppra,
Damn, 4,000? Wow.
yeah, and 500 milligrams at the same time, you know. And
The
it,
main
it,
reason
it
that they
was
switched.
it was not stopping the seizures at all, and all they wanted to do was keep putting up the dose. It was just, the rage came out at that one point. Like, it's like, okay, I'm going to refer you to a colleague. That's how I got off of Gepra. Basically, yeah.
Yeah, I've had that too with my doctor, because they switched me back to that, and I was just like, this is what I took, like, years and years ago when I first, started taking medication for the epilepsy. And she was like, well, we need to put you on this, because I was on phenatonin and I was at the highest level, um or according to them, the highest level that they could prescribe to somebody. And I was still having seizures, and I had a couple of pretty bad ones, where I ended up in the ER. And I would go into the ER, and obviously they, do blood tests, see what your medication is. And
Phentonin is Dilatin, right?
yeah, that's the other name for it.
That was
Um,
the one they started me off on,
Me too.
and it did nothing. It did
yeah, it
nothing.
didn't. That was where I was, going with the story. Is basically they had me on the highest um level of it, which apparently maybe I'm misremembering because it's been a couple of years now, but I think it was 2,000 milligrams of it per day. But either whatever the number is, it doesn't matter. Whatever. I the couple times I had gone into the ER after having, pretty severe seizures still, they would draw my blood and they were like, when was the last time you took your medication? And I'm like, I took it this morning. What do you mean? They're like, oh, well, the levels are really, really low in your blood. Like, for some reason, my body wasn't metabolizing it properly. So I was on the highest dosage, but it wasn't absorbing into my blood system. So my doctor was like, well, we can't go any higher on the dosage. And apparently, this isn't metabolizing in your system properly. Like, we need to switch you to another one. And then that's when they switched me back to the Keppra. And I was like, fuck, no. I was like, I don't know. I don't want to go back to the Keppra. Please,
You
no.
have to tell them it doesn't work.
Yeah. And they put me back on it. And because, as I mentioned before, there's certain ones that I can't take because of my pancreatic issues. So that narrows, that takes away a few different ones that I can take. And then there's other ones that I've already been on in the past that haven't worked. So it was just like, well, I guess we're going to try this one again. And then, they put me back on the Keppra, and I still haven't had any less seizures. I've had, the same amount, if not more, since I started the goddamn thing. So it's just, it's so frustrating, but I've tried most everything that's out there and don't know what else to kind of change to anymore at this point.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's something else now because I've been on Keppra for like 2 years. So there's something else new has probably come out within that time, or there's something else. I should be a little bit more active about it, I guess, but I've already been on so many, and, in the ER and the
you're
hospital so many times between my seizures and my pancreas, that they've already done blood tests and they know what I'm on and all these things. I figure like they should have said something if there was a new one out there, but yeah, I guess I could be a little bit more proactive about it, but it just gets to a point
Your
sometimes. I'm sure you guys all feel it too. You're just like, fuck it,
your
whatever.
situation definitely
Yeah.
sounds similar to mine, and you're probably medication resistant. Um, and I would say one of the better one. Well, I wouldn't say it's better, but for my
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
experiences was Depakote. The only reason my current neurologist couldn't put me on Depakote again was because I had liver issues, and it is very strong on the liver. In
I was
fact,
gonna say I think that was one that I wasn't able to take because there was a possibility of it messing with my pancreas.
yeah,
So I think
it
they
is.
wouldn't give that one to me. I think that's one of the reasons why I didn't take that
Yeah,
one. Because that name
so
sounds super familiar. Yeah.
they had to go a different route, and I think eventually, and the 6 hour cluster is what put me on benzos, and still getting breakthroughs through there. That's what led to Excopri.
When you said drug resistant, um, I looked it up and come to find out I'm actually drug resistant. That's one person has failed to become and stay seizure free with adequate trials of 2 anti-seizure medications. And since I'm on my
Sometimes at the
second
same time.
medication, yeah, I am drug resistant.
So is Andrea. She's on 4 right now at the same time. That's automatic drug resistant.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know I was drug resistant. Learn something every time I come here. That's something interesting to know, especially to get down the line, 20 years down the line now, figuring out that I'm drug resistant.
It was something that my mom wondered for a long time. Like, she wondered when I was a teen, when I was first diagnosed with epilepsy, because here I am getting, like, the first thing they started me off with was Dilan. It was doing nothing. It wasn't stopping the seizures. They were still coming through. And, eventually that's when I got on to Tegatrol XR. And, like, that helped. And then that worked for maybe a little bit. But then my body was pushing, like it was nothing again. Then they did 2 at the same time. I think that was my first time being on Lamictal. This was back like 90s. Like, it was all through basically my childhood. I was going through medications too fast. Like, I will get immune to them, and I will build up my tolerance to them, and the seizures would just break through.
Yeah, I'm definitely like that now. I feel like that's part of my issues. Like I said, I was on the higher dosage of Keppra basically until I begged my doctor to lower it down. I was on the highest dosage of the phenytonin. This I don't know how to say this without it sounding like bad. Whenever I go to the hospital or the ER, or I have to take it at home, like whenever my pancreas is acting up, like I was saying, throwing up completely for a couple of days straight, but I wasn't in any pain. It was just kind of a internal type of thing. It's hard to explain without going off for a while, but when it really acts up, it inflames, and that's an organ in your body, so it then kind of not only does it back up your digestive system, but it kind of pushes up against other organs that are inside of you, and it can get really, really, really painful. So when I'm at home or when I go to the ER, I need pain medication, and so I can take morphine, even Dilaudid, and other ones that they'll give me there, and they'll give me higher dosages, and they won't do shit. It literally feels like they have not given me anything. Like I have to either, like when I'm there, I'll like sneak my vape in, like go to the bathroom, take a couple of hits, or I'll have to, they'll give me whatever there, through the IV, and then I'll, kind of pop a couple of extra, pills on top of it, and it still really does not do much. Like my body is, I just I don't feel it. Like, I'll sit there and, most people will be like, I don't know if anybody here has taken any, pain medication. You take like, one or two morphine pills or something, and you're just like, okay,
I
yeah,
have
that's enough to,
taken many of them. I haven't taken morphine pills. I've been given morphine in the hospital, but I have taken stuff like naproxen and all
but
stronger
okay,
ones.
okay. So then when you get that through the IV, how do you feel after they give it to you?
Morphine through the IV, the amount they gave me was, yeah, I'm having a good time. So,
Yeah, see, for me, they'll give me like, a higher dosage of it, and I'll, take other stuff. And because I'm in pain, I've gone to the, hospital after I've already, smoked and, taken some at home and everything. And still while I'm there, I'm like, this is not doing anything for me. Like nothing is helping out.
yeah, GABA,
So it's
what is it?
yeah,
GABA.
I'm just like like I've stopped for like the last like, year or so. I've basically stopped going there because I know whatever they give me is not going to help. And while I'm there, obviously I can't just, sit there and light up a joint. Like I know I can sit at home. I can sit at home and I can do that, and that'll help out. So I'm better off just staying at home and, self medicating rather than
Yeah,
actually going there. Now it's just, yeah, it's frustrating. And then, yeah, the more, we talk about like these stories like this, it's just, yeah, drug resistant. And that's what I'm starting to feel like. My body is like that. It's just I've unfortunately been through these, things so many times that my body is just used to it all now. I just don't know what to do. Like I'm obviously, if something, serious happens, I'm not just gonna sit at home and just be like, well, I guess this is the end. I'm done. Whatever. Like
oh yeah,
like,
I had to go to the
I'll go if,
ER because
I'll yeah, I'll go if something is serious. I'm not an idiot. But at the
that
same
was a
time, like
dislocated
if it's
shoulder.
just, to take a medication or something, then I'm not going to waste my time and, whoever is driving me their time, to get over there and everything. It's a weird, yeah, it's a weird situation, man. It's a weird situation.
One of the comments here on the question of seizure after eating an edible THC gummy. The first comment says, not with Keppra, but one time when I missed my meds, Vimpat and Zonisamide, I smoked and then took an edible after not having consumed THC for a while. I used to be a heavy smoker when I was young. I had a seizure. I said when I was young, and then it says slash, I had a seizure. I was alone, didn't tell anyone, but I knew this was the life. But I knew this was the cause. I had been consistent with my meds for so long, and in a very low stress time of my life, I wasn't sick, on my cycle, I hadn't been traveling, so there wasn't any other reason for me to have a seizure. Our bodies are a lot more sensitive to missing meds than we sometimes want to believe. even if it's just one dose. Another comment here says, I'm very sorry about the seizure. It sucks when they pop back up. As far as the THC, everyone's body handles it differently, similar to some meds work for a person, but not a person B. I would have to have a convo with your doctor since you say it's prescribed and get their thoughts. Sending healing love vibes. One last comment says, if I miss a single dose within 12 hours, I'm going to have a seizure again. I'm not a doctor, but it was because you missed your dose, not because of the gummy. Makes sense. You guys think the gummy is going to make you have a seizure or missing the dose? I think it's the dose missing.
I agree.
Yeah, it's missing the dose. I've taken plenty of gummies and it's done nothing. But the times when I even like I posted, earlier in the thread, it was I had one, last week, and that was because my other issues were acting up and I wasn't able to keep my meds down. So I had missed a couple of doses, and then that's when I had one. It was smoking and having a couple of gummies in the meantime to try and, help kind of calm everything down within my body. And yeah, definitely wasn't the gummy. It was missing the meds. That's the bigger issue. I feel like they should focus on that more than
Yeah, take your meds every day and don't blame it on the gummies if you're not going to take your meds. But I got an interesting one here. It says, can anyone smell seizures? I can literally smell seizures while they're happening. I can't describe anything besides umami. Anyone else smell them? I pray for everyone who has them, and you're in my heart. I've been around seizures my whole life, and I'm curious if anyone else has experienced this. Personally, never in my life have I smelled a seizure. That is a one of a kind smell, and I couldn't imagine smelling a seizure coming on. That's like something a dog would do or something, right? Your mic is off.
yeah. How do dogs know?
Dogs have that sense.
I don't
Some
know, but
dogs are trained for it, but some dogs naturally have that sense.
I mean, yeah, I know they're trained. It was crazy. I went like on a family vacation to I was at Disneyland in like, I don't know, like August or September or something like that. And I saw this one employee, and she was walking through like the downtown Disney area, and she had a medical dog with her. So I was looking at it, and I can't remember how. I ended up saying something to her, and she mentioned it was, it was hers because she had epilepsy, and I was like, holy shit! I was like, oh my god, it's perfect to meet you. She was around my age. She was very cute. So we ended up talking for like at I don't know, like 45 minutes or so. Right. And then I asked her, where she was working at, which place there, and ended up going and seeing her the next day. And we talked, again for, quite a while. But she had a support dog with her. And the whole time I was thinking, I don't know why I didn't ask her, but I was just thinking, I was like, how do these dogs know? Like, how do you train them, or like what do they smell it, do they feel it, like how do they know that it's coming on? Like it just was crazy to me.
I think
And
it's Kate would know better. She has one, but
she does.
I
yeah,
have
she
a
has a support
dog.
dog.
Technically, the only service task she's trained to do is get me a water bottle. But so far,
uh,
she sticks with
no,
right after it happens.
okay, no, I just didn't know you had one. That's
Yeah, she
cool.
must have
That's
knew we were
Dog
talking
awesome.
about it. She wandered over. But yeah, I don't think she would ever pass any like true service dog thing because of public access. She's still a little too nervous
Mm.
around some people, some places. But
Oh, yeah,
overall, we'll
but
see if she ever comes up with the alert part of telling us before a seizure happens.
Mm. This person's that had the full medical, I don't know, like vest or whatever you want to call it, on them, and she was able, she had it in the shop, um, with her while she was working and everything. So yeah, her and I, yeah, struck up a conversation and we talked a while. Obviously, she lived down there in Southern California. I'm in Northern California, so didn't really strike up a conversation or a long term type thing for her. Maybe if I go down there again and see her, maybe I'll ask her for a number or something. but yeah, I just talked to her for a couple of days there while we were down there. But yeah, it was just instantly. It wasn't even like a flirting type of thing. It was just like we connected. We had so much in common. Like it could have been,
You might
the
not know
could
just
have
because
been
you
like,
didn't try.
yeah, I
love
mean
at
that's true. But
first
I mean,
sight.
like it could have been a guy, and I still would have had that long of a conversation, or I mean, no disrespect to anybody. I'm a male. I'm interested in females, so
No,
that's why I'm
bro.
saying
I
that.
know what's
But
up. I know what's up. I just put YOLO
yeah, I
in the
know. I just don't want to.
comments.
I don't want to offend anybody. But yeah. So I just it was super super nice to actually finally meet somebody in person, because this was before I had even met all of you guys and jumped on the chat and everything. It was just super nice to meet somebody out in person, because like, if, again, I don't want to be disrespectful, but if you let's say, for example, you don't have a leg, you know when you meet somebody else that doesn't have a leg, you can easily tell that they have that disability. Whereas with us, having epilepsy and seizures, you can't tell that by just looking at somebody, by just meeting them once in a while. It's kind of like we were talking about earlier, like, should you let somebody know when you're dating them right away, this and that. You can't
And I
tell
think that
if
was the
somebody
magic.
has it, whereas most other disabilities, you can tell that that person has it. So for this to be able to talk to somebody and then and everything,
I
it
think
was
that was
just,
the
yeah, it was
magic
something
that
really really
started
nice to, yeah.
this whole thing that Pookie started, because we're all meeting each other and we never met other people with epilepsy. And look at me and Kevin. We live right in Philadelphia. Right
Right.
there with each other. And we never met other people with epilepsy. And we get on here and it's like magic. It's like, wow, we all know what each other's been through and stuff, and we all face some of the same things.
Same
Yeah.
with same with Pookie and I know he's moved up now after his stroke and everything, but so I don't know where he's at exactly now, but yeah, where he was at before, I mean, we were probably what, 15 miles away or so, Pookie,
What?
like only,
Like me and you were like 2 miles apart.
yeah, yeah, like super close to
Like
each other.
15 minutes, like one freeway exit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was super crazy that we were that close to each other. But yeah, you just never know. It's something that you can never tell about somebody, so it was nice, and it's, yeah, nice to meet and talk to all y'all.
And I have to admit, I'm really sorry for the people who live in Philly coming from New Jersey, you know? Oh, that was horrible to say. Anyway, poor Philly people. Uh, you got
Well,
good cheesesteaks, though.
I just got
Kevin's
back
like,
on
"What's wrong
and
with
I'm
Philly?"
like, what? Walking into this?
We got a Jersey guy making fun of us, Kev.
Ah, okay.
I
All right.
haven't lived in New Jersey for like 25 years, but I miss the food. So,
See,
East Coast
you
food's
guys
better.
from Philly must love Bill Burr then, right?
Who?
Bill Burr, the stand-up comedian, Bill Burr.
No,
You got
Oh,
not everybody likes him.
I am aware of him.
yeah.
you haven't seen his like epic Philly rant?
No.
Okay. Well, if you get some time, look it up on YouTube. But yeah.
It's the same thing about Kevin Hart. He does everything about Billy, and it's not everything's great about him.
Yeah.
I try to avoid Kevin Hart as much as possible. He's just
I think a lot of
not.
Philly does.
Understandable. You guys are from Philly. He's from Philly. You're like it's played out. Okay. Yeah. Um,
Yes, Katie, thank you.
to the post where they asked, "Can people smell seizures?" I was just saying that would be very interesting to know how a dog knows when a seizure is coming. Um, my little dog, it just sit at the foot of the bed when I have a seizure on the bed, or at my feet when I'm having a seizure on the floor, or whatever the case. Um, he was little. He was a Chihuahua, so he wasn't really gonna help turn me over or anything. But it was just good to see him on video when I'm watching back videos, and I'm like, he's kind of right there. He's kind of just there, just watching, and not warning anybody. But yeah, um, there was one animal, and that's when we started talking about animals. And I seen Chip's cat. We veered left when we seen the kitty. Um,
Yeah, that cat appears on many work videos. She yells at the door, so I have to open the door up, and then she jumps up on the table when she walks in front of the camera. And then she yells at the door, and I have to get up and open the door so she can leave. So she's standing at the door now, just looking at me, but she's not yelling yet.
he was
But
like,
yeah, she was
"Hey, you still on
right
video? Can
up
I
here.
join?"
Her little head appeared. So come
Gotcha.
on, Orange Kitty, you gonna come back? Nah, she's over there, and you can't make a cat do anything.
Right.
Are we still on that service animal question?
I was going to go back to the question. It wasn't about service animals. I was just asking. It was a question about people smelling seizures. Um, yeah, can you smell a seizure coming on?
I don't think people can, but an animal definitely can. And
That's
and
what I
Yeah,
that's
was
only
saying.
if you have a certain kind of seizure. Some seizures are more likely to, for the person to, I guess, broadcast, I don't know, like release that smell, that scent, especially if they're, I want to say like hormonal type, or
Hmm.
yeah, it's certain kinds of seizures. Like obviously tonic-clonics are more, I don't want to say like visible, but whatever the, not auditory, whatever that word is for scent, um for an animal than a focal or a partial.
I know dogs. Well, some dogs that are real close to their owners can definitely sense it.
Yeah, there's that loyalty thing too.
Yeah, I was watching videos of people who were like with their service animals, and there was one that was really good, and I was like, that dog's really nice, and like made sure the lady like sit down. She was like washing dishes, and the
Yeah,
dog
they're
like,
not even service animals. They're just real close to their owners, and they know.
yeah, they had she had the video from her being on camera in her kitchen. The dog like runs up behind her, like jumps up and puts their hands on her back, and she's like turning around like trying to play with him, and then it's like trying to like go between her legs and like go around her and stuff like that, trying to like let her know that something is going on. That's why I'm jumping all over you. And then she like laid down on the kitchen floor and watched her had the seizure, and then the dog was there the whole time. And I was like, that's nice. That's why they're so expensive, because the dog knew everything to do to lay her on her side, and um, like as it was like she was having the seizure, the dog was like right there, just making sure she doesn't hit her head, and having her on her side, it knowing to do that was like amazing to see.
The training process takes 2 years at least. You're never gonna get a puppy doing that kind of stuff.
Mm.
And you have to send scents. Like you have to after you have a seizure, they ask you to, rub a cotton ball on underarms or like base of your neck or something like that. And they're supposed to train the dog to, hone in on that scent. And that's supposed to be something like right after you had a seizure. And then they're trained to do all that alerting. And that's supposed to be way different than playing with you. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the person I was mentioning that I met that had the dog with her, um, she mentioned that her her mother trained like medical dogs. So it was like and like, like since she was a little child, so even before she had epilepsy, so it was like already like something that like her mom did was, train these dogs. So it was basically just like something super easy, for her to get and to have. It was like she was very lucky with her, situation. She, obviously it could have been a lot worse, so she had that. I didn't ask her like how much they cost or like how much they sold them for or anything like that, but but yeah, she just it was, something that was already in her family, and so that's why she had one. And
They cost a
And
pretty penny.
and I
I think
have to.
we
Sorry, go on.
tried to get one for me, and I think it was like $1,400. And then I said, nope, we're going down to the SPCA.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, that doesn't sound that expensive for what it is, like in today's world, I mean, I don't know what time frame you were mentioning that number from, but I was honestly expecting like, I don't know, it like several $1,000s or something for something like that.
Yeah, I think I seen them for around $6,000 to $7,000. Um,
Breeds and stuff matter too, I think, too.
yeah, there was one that was he was a shepherd, and he was like a little over $7,000. Big dog, and I was just wondering like how long is he gonna live for the size that he is? But they said they should live like 5 to 8 years or something like that, which is very good. And the program that they had to get the dog, that the guy like put me in touch with the program, and that program was so confusing to where I just gave up on trying. It was like a program, they were like, you got to be referred by this company, and this company is going to be the one to give you the dog. So I
Yeah.
called the people who give you the dog, and then they're like, oh, you need to have this company call for you after you give them a note from your neurologist. And I was just like, it's so much work. I can handle these seizures myself.
Yeah, it's like it's a ton of work to get an actual service dog on top of, even if you do have the money to pay for it right up front.
Yeah, this was one my insurance could cover, so I already figured it would send me through the loop to loop for all kinds of different paperwork, and that's how it was. It was just a lot.
But my Bowie and his dominant part, like he's mixed. He's mixed, but his dominant part is German Shepherd. And I got him when he was like 2 months old. He was a rescue from when they had the hurricane in Tennessee or something like that. That area, Louisiana area.
So I do got some comments from this smell post that I will read before I change. One says, to me, they're very strong, strange chemical-like smell, hard to describe, pungent, unpleasant. Never encountered a smell like that. I've only had 2 seizures, and that smell was how they started. Another one says, I got a metallic taste and a scent followed by an intense feeling of deja vu. One more. It says, it may not be what you're asking for, but my dog can. When I would feel a seizure coming on, I would breathe on my dog. After a while, he would warn me of a seizure. I can smell a tin smell.
Another tough thing too about dogs is allergies. I am highly allergic to dogs. I can't even like be in like a house with one without just s- coughing, sneezing, sniffling, nose running, eyes watering, like within like 15, 20 minutes.
Well, there's another thing about dogs
So
is
that's
that
yeah, so that's a whole nother issue about
they're highly
having
sensitive to weed.
a dog. Yeah. So
Uh,
it's I mean that's different for everybody, obviously, just like our seizures are. But yeah, that's just another thing for certain people out there too.
I'll read the rest of these comments because they were kind of interesting just reading them, the different things that people are saying they can smell. One here says, I've smelled chlorine once before going into a focal, sometimes a sweet smell, or the smell of spices, which is very strange. Another one here says, I smell and taste of ammonia before and after. Smell and taste of ammonia. That's different. Another one says, before a seizure, sometimes I smell garlic. One more here says, I don't know if you mean you have personally have seizures, but I get olfactory hallucinations if I have focal seizures. The smells don't smell a specific way, I don't think. I always have just linked it to anxiety and fear that accompanies it. The way brain has made sense of it, that it's just like smelling the anxiety or fear itself, if somehow that makes sense. I got one here. It says lower back kidney pain after Keppra increase. I just had a Keppra dosage increase due to breakthrough TC seizures, and I was most likely related to HRT. I'm off the HRT now, but my doctor wants to ensure that I don't have another one. So he increased my dosage from 1,000 milligrams twice a day, which was working for 5 years because I added the HRT, to 1,500 milligrams twice a day. For the last week, I've had cold symptoms like aches and pains, especially in my lower back and kidneys area. Should I call my neuro, or is it most likely just a cold? With things like that, personally, I call my neuro, call and get some type of advice from an advice nurse. I don't know what HRT is.
Hormone replacement therapy,
There we go. Um,
probably for going through menopause or something.
I was gonna say that, so could it be a woman? Um, yeah, you should call your neuro and let them know something feels wrong with the kidneys. Um, yeah, I got a lot of other problems going on, so like things that I feel like could be a long term problem if I don't take care of it. I kind of try to take care of those right then and there, um, or at least write a mental note. I mean, give someone a note or something that you need to remind your neuro. Because if you don't write it down, you can't have it as a note or a sign that something happened. Yeah, you just got to remember everything. And Keppra, I haven't heard anything about it messing with your kidneys. Um, I haven't read anything about that.
Another
Correctly.
thing to think of is staying hydrated.
Yes, that could be
Contributing factor, but still call your doctor.
something on kidneys and Keppra. It says very few cases reports have been published in the literature of Keppra causing acute kidney injury. We present a case of a 26-year-old male with a seizure disorder on Keppra. Oh yeah, it says dot dot dot, and then it has a whole lot down there. So there is some reports of it, so this isn't uncommon. Um, got a post here, a comment here. One says kidneys are more mid-back. I have some muscle stiffness from Keppra, but it could be my furniture. Another one here says, I'm on Keppra. Last week I had a cold or flu with pain where you were describing. I think it was just due to illnesses, but on Keppra for years and it's fine. I don't remember any of the signs that Keppra gave me anything during those times.
I just always say better safe than sorry. Call your doctor.
Yeah,
Trust them when they tell you that it's no big deal over some stranger on the internet.
correct. I have another post here. It says, what maybe caused my focal seizure? So last night I had a focal seizure, maybe. I felt bad aura and deja vu as well as some twitching in my arm. So I rushed to lay down just in case anything happened. Eventually I calmed down. Maybe I was just scaring myself, but it felt so much like I was going to have an episode. I was wondering if you guys can help me identify what maybe caused this. I have some ideas. I was extremely exhausted and watching TV with my sister after I had a busy day at work, a 9 to 5, and my period is coming in over a week. And I've been eating a bit more sugar than I usually do. I already took my meds and I have a good sleep schedule. What could have caused the focal seizure? A lot of things can cause seizures, and I'm no neurologist or doctor, uh, but a busy day, I get exhausted. That could be a reason for a focal. Yeah, my body's just been tired time to time, and I just have like a really relaxed feeling. And then I look up, like, oh, I just missed this amount of time. Was I having a seizure? Um,
I've had seizures in times of great stress. I've had seizures when I was fully rested or when I was really tired, when I was highly caffeinated, when I wasn't caffeinated. I mean, the closest thing I can figure out to a trigger for myself is stress. The best thing you can do is just document and pay attention to things and try and figure out what your triggers are.
yes, Andrea, you're amazing. Um,
I try.
you don't have to try hard. You're amazing without trying. Um,
I'm just amazed that my brain still puts shit together most days.
I'm surprised that my brain even works these days. For some reason, when I'm alone, it acts like it doesn't work at all.
The
Angel said,
book club has made me realize that I wanted to start reading books again, and I'm trying an audiobook, and I've learned that my attention span is worse than a gnat. So
oh,
that
yeah,
is my new meditation, is paying attention to my audiobook.
or my podcast.
That too. But see, this is more, I can pay attention to this easier than I can a book. If I'm trying to listen to a book, my brain goes off over here. If I'm listening to you guys, I don't know why my brain doesn't wander like it does when I'm just trying to listen to a book.
It just seems like I'm able to pay attention when it's the podcast or something. But it seems like other things, they maybe don't grab my attention as much. I don't know if my attention span has become maybe not there, because sometimes my attention span just feels like it's not there.
I can't concentrate.
Yeah, it's like when someone's talking to me, for instance. I was thinking of a situation a few seconds ago when my mom was talking. Um, wasn't sure if I wanted to say that situation, but she'll hear it one day or she'll see it on the podcast. Um, yeah, one day my mom was talking and I was listening to her, but then at the same time I started listening to TV, and then my attention just wanders. It's like now I'm paying attention to my mom and TV, but now the channel changes, so I'm paying attention to something on the floor, and then I'm like, oh yeah, she's still talking. Um, so yeah, my attention span is horrible. When it comes to paying.
I refer to those as squirrels. The squirrels got me. The squirrels grabbed my thought and took it somewhere else.
Um, so yeah, there's that. Like I said, it just feels like my attention span is just not there with me at places because it might be something that I want to hear, but I could never like keep myself on a small conversation, like staring at a person for a while they're talking about what they're talking about. Staring at them is easier, but if I don't stare at that person, I might hear something, and then that gets my attention. Then I hear something else, and then I'm thinking about something. You're still talking to me, and I'm just looking around, and my mind just jumps from thing to thing. My attention span is gone.
My problem is I'll be like on my phone with the TV on in the background, and I'm always trying to do like three things at once, but I'm only half paying attention to any of them because my full attention is like floating between all of them at the same time and never really on any one thing.
That's what I said. I don't know if I even have an attention span anymore because seems like I can pay attention to nothing a lot of times.
Do you guys know the movie with Drew Barrymore and Adam Sandler, 50 First Dates?
Yes.
You remember 10-Second Tom?
I love that movie.
No, I don't remember 10-Second Tom.
I do.
Go back and watch it. I feel like I'm 10-Second Tom.
I'm gonna put you in that girl's shoes.
So, I mean, this attention span stuff, is it just stuff that bores you that you can't pay attention to?
No,
No,
it's not things that bore me because it's sometimes a conversation that might be a little necessary. And then it's like we're having that conversation. And then for some reason, something crosses my mind. Now I can't get that off of my mind. And I'm worrying about keeping up with that in my mind or keeping that on my mind while I'm talking to you. So now I'm going through two different thought processes because my brain's thinking about this thing while I'm supposed to be listening to this conversation, and it's like volume up and down on each. Like turn the TV up, it's like that. Turn it down on this one and turn it up on that one, and I can never.
that's a very good analogy.
Yeah, it's like I can't pay attention as much as I really, really want to. Like I'm really trying to pay attention to it, and it seems like the more you try to pay attention to it, it's like turn the TV up and down. It's like now someone else is turning the TV up and down, and I'm trying to do it better. So it's either I have
It's like you want to say like what was happening to me this morning is say I'm trying to listen to this audiobook, but then I kept thinking of like something that was going on with my kids. So then I would start thinking about what's going on with my kids, or my brain just kept wandering off to all this other stuff. And I'd be like, no, I want to listen to the book. Trying to listen to the book. I don't want to think about all that. I want to listen to the book.
yeah. My mind is going through that conversation when I'm thinking about stuff. My mind is usually telling me I want to read the book. So then I'm thinking about my mind. I want to read this book, and yeah, it's
Yeah,
really confusing headspace, and it's
it's
funny at times.
annoying.
Yeah,
It's so annoying.
I'm sometimes thinking this is what I want to think about, but I want to remember this. And yeah, my thoughts are usually all over the place. I'm trying to remember this conversation and the conversation that's going on aloud. Someone else is talking to me, but then I'm thinking about what's in my head. Yeah. So usually I'm like, can you repeat that? Because, yeah. Hey, Mark.
How's it going?
So
I
far, so good.
I really want to know what his answers to the icebreaker will be.
Uh-oh.
Very interesting. Yeah, everyone loves Mark's answers. So we'll just get to Mark then.
No
If you could
pressure.
put
We were
three things,
kind of off on a tangent. Sorry.
you could put three
I
things
love
into a
tangents.
time capsule for someone 100 years away. What would it be?
Three things for 100 years from now.
Yes, I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
Yeah, three things in a time capsule that they're gonna open in 100 years.
Okay, this is interesting because is it like a time capsule with an intent or something to
Whatever you
say
want.
something? Or
It's had everything from like Tom Brady and Barney going in it to Vaseline and flip-flops.
okay, well,
So whatever you want. There's been much more profound things than that, but those are just it can be whatever you like.
uh, um, damn, I wish I had some time to think about this before having to give an answer.
I know. It's hard, isn't it?
Yeah, 100 years from now. What, I mean, like, what was interesting to people 100 years ago that we would find insightful or something if from a time capsule that we opened?
I think that we should put in things that like kind of represent now.
I
Just for the
considered how's the world going to change in 100 years?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, can I necessarily rely on them having a means to use whatever I would send? Like, those Edison wax cylinders or something, they can hardly play any of those recordings that were made in the early 20th century now. Um, that's why when they made the Voyager probes, the um, the discs that they put on the probes to like send a message out and stuff had uh, vinyl records on them that were plated in gold and etched on the one side of the vinyl records was kind of a pictograph of how to assemble a sort of uh, vinyl record player in order to reproduce the sounds that were recorded on those discs. So, how would we necessarily need to ensure that, because we can't put a TikTok video or something in a box or something, nor would I personally necessarily want to. But that would certainly represent the aspect of the current era.
society.
Yeah, I
We
don't know.
talked about some cannabis seeds.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how long those seeds would be viable. I wonder. I mean, there's those seed banks over in the like Norway or something, Greenland, Norway, Iceland, something that are storing
The
storing.
ark is going to save this world.
Yeah, something like that. Um, so it might actually be viable to send some cannabis seeds forward. But then that would beg the question, which strains are you gonna send? Because, you know, as I am working on my, what is this? Fruit Pops. Yeah,
Fruit Pops, huh?
yeah. I don't know if that makes it on YouTube safe, mentioning a specific strain or something, or explicitly saying that I have something. Um,
There was
some
some discussion of some medical cannabis earlier and dispensaries and which strains we liked and if we preferred indica or sativa and things like that at the dispensary. So I don't know why that would be a problem.
displaying it, I guess. Oh, probably wouldn't be.
All I
Anyway,
saw was a white jar.
yes, by Florida law, all containers must be opaque and as um like not exciting, not interesting as possible, I guess.
Don't don't want the little kitties to look at it and be
Yes, to
want
save
some.
the kids. Yeah, and there's got to be big warning signs on the sides that say THC for the kids and pets. We gotta have THC written on the side so the pets know. Um, okay, so
Yeah,
answer,
because they can read really well.
right, yeah.
But that was my problem. I said in 100 years we're not going to be able to read. So that's why I chose a book.
Will they, yeah, how much will English have changed in 100 years? Like,
Good point.
that's that's kind of interesting. It would be a pretty, which,
Put the Terminator series in there to warn people about AI.
100 years from now, it'll be too late already. We're gonna either be like transcendent, disembodied energy beings, or we will be extinct. And it will all be because of AI.
Dude, well, even if they can read it, honestly, dude, like, do you think that like an 8-year-old is gonna look at it and be like, "Oh, THC, I know exactly what that means. I should put this down." They
Right?
have no, they have no fucking clue what that means. Like, it's just, yeah, it's just a bullshit, legal thing that they have to put on there so they can save their asses from lawsuits. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I work around 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 year olds all day long, every day. They're fucking stupid when it comes to like basic shit. They know exactly how to, play, Roblox or do something in what's the other game with the pickaxe? Whatever. They know how to
Minecraft?
do what? What is it?
Minecraft?
Yeah, Minecraft. There we go. There we go. I was blank in my mind. So yeah, they know how to play like Roblox, they know how to play Minecraft, they know all that shit, but God forbid they actually like know how to read, a fucking, you know, a letter or like how to like send a piece of mail to somebody else or something. Like the,
Yeah,
the the
is the
warning
mail
labels are
even
just to
used
cover
for
the company's
anything
asses.
except delivering Amazon packages anymore? I
Oh
don't,
yeah, and that's only because it's done by scanning a barcode, not actually
right.
having to write down a label and put a stamp on it or something. I know I sound like a grumpy old man right now, but
I mean,
It's all
there's
right.
like you guys, do
there's a lot
you guys
of
semi agree with me? Come on, I hope so.
Yeah, there's a lot of validity to all of that. I,
My grumpy old man ranting.
yeah, the
Back
school
in my
system,
day.
the school system is a joke. Um,
Oh yeah, you have
that's,
you have no clue. I've probably already ranted about this before, but you guys, yeah, you have no clue how much food gets wasted every single day
oh,
because
really?
At your
oh yeah,
house or over the world?
At the schools.
no,
Um,
at the schools,
I can already imagine.
at least here in California, because it's required to give free breakfast and free lunch, which is perfectly fine. That I am perfectly fine with that. There are people struggling everywhere. If that helps the kids out and everything, they can get through school. You know, the parents aren't sending them out the door without food.
Yeah.
I'm perfectly fine with that. But when it comes to certain days and it's something where the kids don't like it, or it's, you know, their religion that they can't eat it, you know, like it's something beef and they're Muslim. Just, you know, there's certain things where there's a lot of days where they can't eat the food or they don't like it, but they still take the entire meal because they have to take the entire meal. They can't just take the milk carton. So say they're thirsty and they want the milk carton, they have to take the entire meal. So then they have to take, you know, that, you know, cheese pizza with the broccoli on the side and the carrots and the french fries and all of this. And they're not hungry, they're just thirsty. They just wanted the milk. So they take the entire meal, drink the milk carton, and then they just dump the rest of the food out, and that's it. Every single day, every single day. I need to start taking pictures and like show you guys like every single day the trash. The you know it's your normal like plastic, you know, your big trash bin,
Yeah.
and it's at least half full. At least it depends on which day it is, but at least half full of just food, because the kids just want like they're like, oh, I just want the carrots, I just want the milk, I just want this one, you know, item out of it, whatever, and then they dump and throw the rest away. So much food gets wasted, and I'm sitting there like I'm hungry, you know, it's like, you know, like 12 o'clock or something. I'm like, oh, I'm kind of hungry, that looks, you know, something good sounds, you know, right now, and I'm just watching kids just literally dump, like kid after kid just dump their food into the trash can. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
they waste a lot of food. Yeah.
yeah, I'm just like, there's somebody like 15 minutes, you know, down the road that's, you know, homeless and needs a meal, and you're just dumping this out. Like part of me just wants to like pick the food up, like take it with me and like go give it away or something. Or it frustrates me every day, and I'm sorry I'm ranting about it. I've like when I'm actually there, I've gotten over it because I'm just like, okay, I've been here for a few years, and I know that's how this works out. But at the same time, it's still frustrating. Like I you know, I ride my bike home and I see like one, you know, a couple of homeless people or something, and I'm like, fuck! I just watched like 15 pounds of food get thrown away, and you're right here, you know, starving. Like, oh, it it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. I'll
Gotcha.
stop. I'll stop now. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I went way too far off on that tangent.
Man,
So
don't be sorry. Somebody's gonna hear that needs to hear that. Um,
yeah, I mean, if anybody can like help out and, you know, donate, or, you know, rather than like, you know, you have a couple of bites, you
gotcha.
know, of French fries or something left, like at the end of your meal that you got from a fast food place, like don't throw it away. Like go and find somebody and give it to them.
Yeah,
That
there's a lot of homeless people around here. I mean,
that's yeah, that
around there because I was there once upon a time. There's a lot of homeless people.
yeah. So yeah. You know for sure. But yeah, yeah. That's my rant. Sorry.
It's all right. You're allowed to rant. I have a post here. It says, does anyone send messages make no sense when having a seizure? Every time, without fail, I have a seizure, I send messages like this, and it's always to my sister. The message would be, yep, especially Egypt and Syria. It's hard to use them as an excuse, though. Why is that? Epilepsy is a curse, honestly. I just saw a selfie I took during a seizure where I'm grimacing. It's a face of extreme disgust. It's really freaking me out. The question was, does anybody send messages when you have a seizure, or take pictures? I'm assuming. I have not sent messages. I've made calls to where people have asked me, "Are you all right?" Because you're calling me and you don't sound all right. Forgot that, but no text. Amen.
I've I've sent some messages, and actually, I want to say like about 2 or 3 months ago or so. I'm just sitting here at home watching something on on TV, and my dad comes in and he's like, "Oh, here you got a package," and I was like, "Oh, okay, thanks." And I get it. I look at it. I look at like the address on it, and I'm like, "What the is this?" I end up looking it up, and apparently I ordered some stuff off of. I made a order on Etsy that I don't remember making whatsoever. It was
Yeah,
ended up being
I said
about
this earlier, and someone said they buy stuff and not make text.
yeah, it was about $170 I spent, and no clue. I don't remember it. There were items I didn't necessarily need. It was yeah, it was weird. So I had to like explain it and try and figure it out with my credit card. But yeah, it was just money money I didn't really exactly have or need to spend or anything. And it was the day after I had one of my seizures, so it was weird. Am I the only one that's done that? Anybody else bought
Uh,
random shit? No? Oh,
I
good.
have not texted anyone.
I just I just want somebody else to make me feel better. No, I'm just kidding.
I can't, unfortunately, this time because I've not sent any text messages out because I don't send text messages out on a regular
I would
basis.
have been cool. I would have been cool with text messages because at least that's not spending money.
Yeah,
You know? So I
I
mean, yeah.
I heard Jeff earlier. He said that he um I think he said he buys stuff. You know, put stuff in your Amazon cart. I mean, I don't know if he puts stuff in the Amazon cart, but he just says that he has a purchasing thing. Um,
Okay. Yeah, at least there's somebody close. Yeah, it was really I've never done that before. The whole time I've been having seizures and everything. I've never done it before. It was just super weird. It was completely out of character even for, weird stuff I do while having seizures. So I didn't know what else to, think about it.
but have not purchased things. That's what I was going to say. Um, I think, like I said, I think I've maybe called someone. And they're like, "What are you talking about?" And they call people where I'm at, and they're like, "He's calling me, acting weird. Can you go check on him?" Stuff like that. But I'm lucky not send any weird text messages out. I mean, not that I do it on a regular anyway. One comment here says, often during absent seizures or after smaller myoclonic seizures, my head is just soup and nothing I say or write down will make sense. Thinking becomes so hard. Another one says, nope, I just do floppy fish, but the next day I can't remember what I do. So goodness knows what I do. Have you ever been told that you did something weird?
I crashed through my bathroom shower. I mean, like I fell and hit the toilet and the shower doors and all that, and I have no memory of it whatsoever.
Wow. Um, I have not hurt myself in the shower. Luckily, I have hurt myself in the bathroom. I've been like stuck in between the toilet and the wall, which was at that time it was a very slim space. And then I'm bigger than everybody else I know, so
It's not a good place.
they would have really had to like drag me out from in between the wall and the toilet. But I'm not sure how the situation went. I was just told you were pinned in between the wall and the toilet, and I've had that story on my mind for years. Like, what really happened? I don't know. I know I've been stuck in between the toilet and the wall, and I have not, like a lot of people, have not had one in the shower, luckily.
Vague
That sounds
memory.
amazing.
A few years ago, or not a few years ago, I've had a vague memory. A few days ago, I've just it's been passing through my head of me remembering of like uh this anticipation of like this is gonna hurt really bad. Like me like falling down, looking, and I'm thinking this is gonna hurt when I land. And I don't know if it was from epilepsy or um, I used to, play a lot of sports, and uh, yeah, I think it was, you know, back
I have
with
one of
my,
those.
yeah, you get the oh
It was
crap,
oh fuck, this is gonna hurt right as the floor came at my face.
yeah,
For that
and
seizure, were you awake?
yeah,
Not after
myoclonic
that.
the myoclonic seizures. I'm always awake, fully awake.
Oh, but yeah, mine was like a tonic clonic where I was awake, and that's when I told myself this is gonna hurt when you hit this
Right.
ground.
Yeah.
Um, but like I said, mine was awake when that was happening, and I was just
Oh, that's awful.
yeah,
Jeez.
yeah. For the first time that it happened, I was just like, okay, I'm gonna fall. I'm about to knock myself out, and it didn't. So then I was just like, what do I do now? And since there's nothing I could do, I was just like lost for words. I cried. I cried from confusion and, of course, from hitting my head on things or whatever I was hitting at that point in time. I think maybe my head and shoulder that time, something were hitting something. And I just passed out eventually from the pain deprivation. Um, yeah, just not being able to do anything else. Can't do anything. I can feel myself gritting my teeth. Um, and yeah, just feel yourself crying. Can feel the tears going down my face is how it felt, but I couldn't react. A lot of these stories I've told a lot, but go ahead, Angel.
I was just saying the same. I know that experience, no control of anything. You're just watching.
You guys had any seizures where you're awake or not awake but conscious? Wait, I don't know if that's the word either. Any seizures where you're, I guess that
Aware.
would, yeah, where you're kind of there and you're watching it go down. We're not watching it, but you're just
Yeah.
there.
I've had some where I'm like I have a weird period where it's like I know like the one where I fell, I was really out of it and confused, but I didn't know what was going on. Like I was so out of it, didn't know that I was out of it and confused. And then it was all of a sudden the floor was coming at my face and it was, oh fuck, this is gonna hurt, crunch. And then the next thing I remember was I'm on the floor and my nose is bleeding and there's blood on the floor and I gotta find my phone and call and tell someone I had a seizure because that's gotta be what happened.
And to answer your question, yes, Pookie. And
I'm
like I said,
sorry, did I interrupt you? I'm so sorry.
no, no, you didn't. And you don't, it was like a full tonic-clonic. I described it to my doctor, and he didn't call it a myoclonic or anything. He just called it clusters. And it's like you're feeling it and everything, and you're feeling the zaps and everything, the jolts.
A few more comments from this last post of sending messages. One says, "Man, I don't even think I could text if I wanted to. Even with it just being a focal, it's too hard to think or do anything, any task." Another one says, "Yes, I was on Discord and they all thought I was drunk." Another one says, "I remember texting my boss. It was the equivalent to drunk text, and I believe he assumed I had had too much to drink as it was the middle of the night. I believe I was texting something to the effect of, in quote, not gonna make it. This is not good." I think I was string of words that made logical sense, but I couldn't really loop him in on what was going on because, to be honest, I had no idea what was going on.
You wanted to throw in there kind of a side note, since you were talking about it earlier. Um, four seizures that I've had were in the shower. One of them, the bathroom that I have, it's a shower um, bathtub combo, so it
Yeah.
has the bath spout sticking out of the wall. One of them, I fell down so hard, my head broke the bath spout off of the wall. Like the water was like gushing out. Like had no one else been home, the whole thing would have flooded and I probably would have drowned. Um, we had to turn the water off to the house because the water was just gushing out. So we had to shut off the main water to the house. We had to have a plumber come and fix it and everything that morning. So I've had a couple of interesting ones in the shower as well. So I definitely understand what those people were asking about. It was really weird because it was one of the first few that I had, so I didn't really have much experience of having seizures at that point yet. And then so obviously I fell down, hit my head on that enough to break it off of the wall. Like I said, it was still new. My parents were pretty concerned, so they called the paramedics. I just remember stepping into the shower, and then the next thing I know, I'm laying in a hospital bed in an ER. I remember nothing in between. This was when I was about 20, I think. So yeah, literally half my lifetime ago now. It was just such a crazy experience. Like now I would wake up and look around and be like, oh, okay, I'm in a hospital bed. I guess I had a seizure or whatever. But back then it was just something super super weird. And I felt bad too because of my parents. Like I said, my parents had to shut the water to the house off. They had to call a plumber and pay to have it fixed. And had to drive me to the hospital, all that stuff. Like I felt terrible. I felt like just such, such a terrible person because I wasn't, completely used to that stuff. But now I kind of realize that it is what it is. I don't have any control over it, so I'm a little bit easier with it. But back then, yeah, it was a really, really tough day back then. So yeah, I don't know. I hope I I hope nobody else had a certain day like that, but yeah, if you know what it feels like, then yeah, hard day.
Plenty of days like that, unfortunately.
Please take your medication as prescribed or whatever works for you. We're not doctors.